Ladies and gentlemen, let me now invite Dr. Susantha Gunatilaka to present. Dr. Susantha is going to present on LTT ideological war, still continues locally and internationally. And in introducing Dr. Susantha Gunatilaka, I must say that he is one of our senior academics, and he is currently the president of the Royal Asiatic Society of Sri Lanka. He taught and researched at a number of universities, including very prestigious universities, at Exeter, at Sussex, at Columbia. He's written a number of books. I also want to say that he founded, he's the founder director of the research department of the People's Bank. And it's a great pleasure for us to hear from you. Dr. Gunatilaka.
Thank you very much, Rohan. I want to begin my presentation at the beginning of how I became interested in this project. Before I became a social scientist, I was an engineer, and my first posting was in Kankasanture, where I met an excellent gentleman by the name of Ponnambalam, who was an art teacher. His knowledge of Sinhala was very limited. His knowledge of English was zero. My knowledge of Tamil was limited, but my wife knew a bit more Tamil. And he and I became coin collectors. He had the best coin collection in North Sri Lanka. And he donated it to Kalani University. Unfortunately, they are lost. I also had a small collection, which I donated to my old school. And when I went recently, because we donate every year for the 9 classmates of my son who died in the war, we provide scholarships from beginning to end. And then I found that those were also lost. So it is a story of archaeology that I am going to trace. Now, as you know, the fictional traditional Tamil homeland, central to it was a fiction that has been exposed by historians. The claim is that the self-declared Tamil homeland in the north and east existed from time immemorial, unconnected with the rest of Sri Lanka. This is based on the well-known Tregohan Minute, which stated, among others, that the Sinhalese came from Siam. With the LTT defeat, archaeology has become more important in the LTT organ, Tamilnet. I would urge you to go and see Tamilnet. It gives ample evidence of Jaffna University archaeology links with the LTT and with separatist parties like the Itakan. It's not an armed separatist party, and in English named Federal Party, but in Tamil, Tamil Government Party. Tamilnet gives raw material of a still continuing false LTT archaeology and of Jaffna academics' resentment of both local and international professional archaeology in the areas once held by the LTT. Now, I think we have loaded the wrong thing. Right, okay. Now, it says, it resents about material that has been shifted from Kandarode, from Jaffna Museum. Jaffna Museum, under the LTT control, was changed. All the labels there were changed to say that it was Tamil Buddhism unconnected with the rest of Sri Lanka. Now, the exhibits in the Jaffna Museum were actually exhibits discovered in 1917 by my own current institution, by Rasanayagam and Paul Piris, and the exhibits were very similar to those in Sri Lanka, rest of Sri Lanka, including with Sinhalese letters. So, and okay, and I think we have loaded the wrong one. Sorry. Okay, we'll go with this. There's a continuous barrage on the archaeology department, and it says that no archaeology should be done till sovereignty is given. And sorry. Okay, and these are some of the changes that were done in the museum there. And sorry, okay, And it claims that there's much resentment in Jaffna or priority given to archaeology. And it says a heritage are a prerogative of free people, otherwise it will continue to be colonial. And the assumption is that under the LTT, the people were free. And interestingly, the present ITAC head, Dr. Sitrampalam, was the earlier professor of archaeology under whom most of those names were changed. And he has compared the LTT war, which was lost, to the Mahabharata epic and says that the Tamils should never forget it. And he continues to say, I think here, not as archaeologist, what are refused to Prabhakaran cannot be given to others is the position of Mahinda Rajapaksa. But the demand of Prabhakaran was also the demand of Challanayagam and others even before. Right? And he says that quite typical of genocidal Sri Lanka, there is a temple called Kurundugoda Vihare. This is, as you know, the Kadurgoda Vihare, which is named in the Nampota in the 16th, 17th century, which are discovered, of which the artifacts were done by the Royal Asiatic Society, excavated again in 1960s, and Girihandu Seya and so on. And it says, that what takes place in the country of Tamils in name of archaeology is obviously a cultural genocide, when the Sri Lankan state denies territoriality to Elam Tamils. And it asks whether it's academic honesty to grab the right to study heritage belonging to those people without their participation, but with the collaboration of their conquerors. But actually, Jaffna University people are now collaborating, and we will see what they have discovered. And it questions also German collaboration with this recent archaeology, which started about 1 year ago, and asks the audacity to search for heritage in Kandarode and in the north and east. And it denounces openness. Now, it also attacks the findings in Trincomalee. As you know, the modern Kovil in Trincomalee it was constructed in the 1950s, and the only remains above the surface is this Buddha statue behind the Trincomalee police station. And it says that Colombo has taken control over the Kinneya hot wells. I can remember going to the Kinneya hot wells about 5 years ago, and the LTT were distributing tickets to see it. And the complaint is that the GA has said that this is wrong information, and that the Pradeshi Sabha had no right to that, but the right was with the Department of Archaeology. And it also says that, now they claim that this was the place of Ravana, and this was a board that was put up in around 2000, and it was removed because it was not Ravana's place, and around it are these remnants of the stupa, which if you go today, you will see the archaeology department has just started excavating it. And now, they also interestingly ask, why should monuments built by Tamil, remembering their struggle, be destroyed? Asked an academic in Jaffna, referring to the memoriam for Thilapan, whom you remember, who fasted unto death. And after the war, one of the first acts of the government was to remove that, and they wanted it maintained as archaeological evidence, as remembrance. The Sri Lankan Government Act was no different from after World War II, where all Nazi symbols were removed en masse by the Allies, and also 30,000 books, as you remember, were banned. And it says again that archaeology is cultural genocide of Islam Tamils. And it claims that the archaeology at Kucheveli and Tiriyai has nothing to do with the rest of Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka is a Theravada Buddhist country today. And that the Kucheveli and Tiriyai sites were Tamil in origin. They were none of the sort. In the 7th and 8th centuries, Sri Lanka was a center of Mahayana, and exported from Sri Lanka were major texts of Mahayana to China, to Java, and so on. And so, okay, it again talks about and it says the best way of preserving cultural heritage is by recognizing the territoriality of Elam Tamilism. Okay, and it says that UN agencies and the West should refrain from helping the Sri Lankan government in archaeology. Now, sorry, in the hurry, accident had occurred and we had put an early one. The archaeology of Jaffna and the northern province has been excavated, and there was a major presentation in which I chaired at the Royal Asiatic Society 2 weeks ago. And we had 5 presentations.